Hi guys, it is quite some time away, but political commentators are already looking at the vote in the Welsh Senedd in 2026. This could be a moment for Reform UK to eclipse the Tories in Wales as the official opposition. This is a terrible prospect, but there are two things working in Farage's favour. First, the voting system isn't strictly first past the post, it's a mixed system including PR, something that benefits smaller parties. The second, of course, is the problem facing the incumbent. Labour will be hoping that the economy has turned around by then and that the average voter feels better off. If they don't, we could see a massive turnout for reform and then them using Wales as a platform to challenge Labour in Westminster. Here Beth Rigby explains some of the problems when she appeared on the Pod Save the UK podcast.
Let's just consider these Welsh elections in 2026.
Labour don't know what's going to hit them.
Right, wow.
Reform could just sweep in and take dozens and dozens of seats. Farage launched their election campaign in Wales. They held their conference in Wales and they are really gunning for it. And it's a headache for the Conservatives if Reform become the official opposition, if you like, in Welsh politics. Voters, they were not happy with some of the decisions the government has made. The winter fuel allowance, people weren't expecting that. Or my bill will go up in the supermarket. If your food bills are going up by 20%, if the macroeconomics are good, but your life is shitter than it was, you're not going to be sold on that. You can see what the Labour government clearly are trying to do. Waiting lists, borders, cost of living. And I guess the calculation is if they can deliver some of that, people will have a reason to vote for them, not turn into the arms of Reform.
I agree 100%. There's a real risk for the Conservatives in Wales because there are areas near the border with England which are more likely to vote Conservative. They traditionally vote Conservative. And there are poorer areas in Wales that voted for Brexit. And you can guarantee that Reform UK are focusing on those areas. So, the public are not happy with the Conservatives. That's going to remain for some time. The new Tory leader is not making much headway. And people by 2026, if they don't see things improving, then of course they're going to reach out to the likes of Reform UK. It's unlikely that they're going to switch back to the Tories, unless the Tories start doing something different. But they don't seem to be doing anything different at the moment. Now, we've already seen a few councils flip from that had flipped to Labour, flipping back to the Conservatives. But those are councils. They're not the same as these local elections. But it is going to be really an opportunity for Reform and Farage. And this is really disappointing. It's depressing, actually, because you're going to have people who've been thrown under a bus as a result of Brexit voting for Reform. And you're going to have people who are angry, perhaps with the new Labour government, voting for Reform as well. Nigel Farage is not there to improve the lives of ordinary people. Nigel Farage is there to amplify himself. He does it in the House of Commons all the time. So there's a real chance that they could eclipse the Conservatives. They could become the official opposition. And then that will lead into perhaps a bigger portion of the vote at the next election, the next general election in 2028 or 2029, and Reform winning a significant number of seats. At the expense of the Conservatives, though. The Conservatives could disappear sometime soon. And they could be replaced by Reform UK. Because if they're not able to show that they're challenging the government, if they're not holding the government to account, then people will vote for someone else. And Farage is a charismatic figure. Farage is very noisy. And many people think Farage would do a better job leading the opposition. Because if it won't be Farage in Wales, but it will be his deputies. But if Reform UK are able to make a lot of noise in Wales, this will be heard in Westminster. And I think the Conservatives are going to lose out here. Now, it's 2026. It's some time away. But the wheels have begun. The wheels are in motion. And there's a real possibility that the Conservatives could be replaced as the official opposition. It's unlikely that Labour will lose this, but they could be facing, instead of the Conservatives across the aisle, they could be facing Reform UK. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.